Okay, so here's a little note for me, because I'm trying to work out how Reaper works, trying to switch from Logic to Reaper, and it is super different. Really, it's confusing the hell out of me. So what I got going on here is I got a whole track laid out across the project. I've got the project set to the right BPM so it syncs up. What I want to do is chop this section out and loop it across the whole track. So easiest way of doing that is there's probably a button to duplicate it, but I could just do copy, go back to the beginning with W, paste. There we go. So we are now, I've got a duplicate to work with. I've got my time selection, right click on that, and we've got split at time selection or Shift S. So that's good. There is a crop in Logic which I would use actually. There's probably one in Reaper, but don't worry about that for a minute. So there we go, that's all gone. So now I want to repeat that. So in Logic, I would highlight that and there's a little loop box and you press loop and it loops away. Whereas the way to do it in Reaper seems to be duplicate, Shift D. Now, the problem with that is I want these to be aliases of that. So whatever edit I make to this, I want to be repeated across there. For example, if I take this and I put a fade on it, that's not going to affect those because they are copies. They're new regions. They're not just aliases of this region. So if anyone can help me work that out, that would be fantastic. Something for my own memory is that I've noticed that if you have this loop source ticked, let's do it. So we go loop source, delete all this. See, I find constantly deleting all these regions a bit of a pain, but anyway. So if I go loop source, you can see that this is the original. If I have loop source ticked, bingo, it just loops everything. I'm not used to that, so just to make life easier on myself, I'm going to turn off that loop source, press OK, and then that behaves a bit more as I would expect it to. It's weird because, you know, switching from another DAW, you're trying to make everything work the same. Probably that's not the answer. Probably the answer is to work out the most efficient way of creating the same result. But that loop thing is something that I have used so much for so many years. I really want to work out if there is a similar way of working, certainly using aliases. I'm sure there must be some way of using aliases. I don't know, let's see. Let me know what you think.